You know, it happens to all of us. Sometimes you just reach that point where you're at a roadblock. You're just struggling with improvising on your saxophone. You don't know how to overcome this point where you can't come up with something new to play, or you feel as if you're struggling just to get to the next level with your improvising. I'm going to talk about some strategies to overcome that in this lesson. So if that's you, stick around. I know how hard learning improvising is. I struggled with it at the start as well. And actually, I made a course for my sax school members recently called Introduction to Improvising on Saxophone, which kind of breaks the whole process down from choosing your first notes and a strategy and having a framework basically of how to improvise that makes it easy and overcomes these issues. If you're a sax school member, or if you want to check that out, you can log in at mcgillmusic.com. There's a 30-day trial actually where you can check out that mini course, all the other mini courses and hundreds of other lessons as well. But in this lesson I want to talk about some tactics that you can use for overcoming this. And actually I got a message from one of my sax school members which is a great example about this just the other day. Oh, by the way, if it's your first time on the channel, please do subscribe because I'm putting new lessons out like this all the time and I really don't want you to miss out on them. So click subscribe and then you'll know when the next lesson is coming out too. So this email was from Dave, who's one of my long-term sax school members. And Dave's saying, I've been with sax school for quite a few years, a big supporter of it, but I'm struggling with improvising. Dave's saying, unless I've got the score in front of me, I just don't know what notes to play next. I've got a good understanding of music theoretically, but can't put it into practice. You know, that's a common thing. It's something that I hear a lot. So there's a couple of elements here. The first thing is I guess, understanding all of it, and Dave understands it all, but the second part, which is the main issue, I think, is this struggle we have with being creative and thinking that we're not able to come up with some new ideas. So I think really the most important thing to focus on is to bring it back to basics and develop this creative muscle. So, you know, when we're learning saxophone, we spend a lot of time thinking about our embouchure. We spend a lot of time thinking about our fingers, but we don't spend very much time exercising our creative muscles. And you really do need to do it because the more you do it, the easier it becomes, but you need to work at it just like your tone or just like your fingers. So here's 3 things that you can do that's going to help to overcome this roadblock, this creativity roadblock in your playing. The very first thing to do is to just get back into listening to music. Go through the sort of music that you listen to. Find some new stuff. Explore some other saxophone players. There's loads of great resources online, whether you're searching on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, whatever it is that you use to listen to music. Go through and explore some other players and try to make a little list of the sort of things that you really love. And when you're listening to these people, I want you to really listen closely. So we're not just listening to the overall picture. I want you to listen to the tone. I want you to listen to the attitude that they have when they're playing. Their breathing, their tonguing. Think about the whole atmosphere that they're creating when they're playing and get excited about that. So that's step number 1, listening. Now step number 2 is really about unlocking this creativity in yourself. And I think to do that, we need to bring it back and make it simple. Go back to the simple steps. Actually, I made a great lesson on this called Improv Warm-Up, which I'll put a link to up here or there or down somewhere. You should definitely go check it out. It's on my channel here. That's a fantastic exercise for really getting your creativity going. But in a nutshell, what I'm talking about is breaking it right back to the simplest elements where we've got 2 things. We've got 1 set of notes. It could be a scale. It could be 3 or 4 notes from a scale. And we've got a beat. And that could just be a metronome. It doesn't need to be a fancy backing track. So I've got my metronome here. I've always got it on my music stand. And then I'm going to use, let's say, I don't know, an A blues scale. But I'm not even going to use the whole blues scale. I'm going to use the first 3 notes. A, C, and D. Easy peasy. Okay, so I'm going to set it to a nice easy tempo, like 60 beats a minute. And this is something I do a lot in my own practice actually. Nice easy tempo, I'm going to use those A, C, and D. The first 3 notes of an A blues scale, A, C, and then D with my octave key on. And what I'm going to do is just start jamming with that beat and seeing if I can come up with some ideas. Remember, it's about expanding my creativity. A 1, 2, doesn't really matter what you come up with. It's about experimenting and trying to come up with something different, something new, pushing yourself in a direction that you might not have normally gone in. So using a whole blues scale or a whole pentatonic scale or even a whole major scale is a great way to do it because you've got a few notes to think about. Can you extend up your range, down your range? Can you use different rhythms? Can you use more space? A simple exercise like this can just jog you out of this sort of creative black hole and open up some new possibilities to you. Now, my third tip for really overcoming a mental block or a creativity roadblock in your playing is to, again, bring things back a step so that when you're improvising, I want you to focus on keeping your melodies really simple, keeping your rhythms really simple. I want you to make the whole process of coming up with this improvised line a simple process. Don't think about it being complicated. Remember that the simplest melodies are the ones that are the most effective. They're the ones that are the most memorable and that are going to reach the most people. So when you're improvising, keep all of your melody ideas simple, little melody chunks or nuggets. Don't forget you can reuse those nuggets. And keep the rhythm in those melody ideas really even and regular and simple as well, with lots and lots of space. Okay, so this is a really simple concept, but those 3 tips I know are going to help you if you're struggling with this roadblock. Listen more. Do the 1-chord improv warm-up where you break it down to just 2 elements of a handful of notes and a beat. And then remember to keep your solos simple. So we're talking about simple rhythms and simple melodies. If this has been helpful to you, let me know in a comment and let me know if you do these sorts of things already in your playing. Also, don't forget to check out that 1-chord improv warm-up. It's a great exercise. You can use it all the time and I know it's going to help you. And of course, if it's your first time, please do subscribe so that I can catch you on a future video. So I hope that's been helpful. Keep practicing hard and I'll catch you next time.